When you're dressed in your colors that are right for your undertone, you absolutely radiate. You look better, you feel better, you just know it. Color is energy. And when the right ones are surrounding your face, then you can conquer the world, really.
I like how you said that. It really is, because I see as color both energy and then emotion. It brings out that emotion with others. So, and I know myself, I like to dress in black. We're always taught that black covers up excess weight, so I see myself and a lot of other women, we dress in black. I don't anymore since I've been coaching with Charli. She has shown me how to make sure I wear certain lines and certain lengths and certain colors with different things, but I still like my black pants.
Yeah. So when it comes to your business, the first step is, do you look good? Do you look like somebody I want to do business with? Okay. Even speakers, a lot of speakers, they've got a great product, they know their stuff. But if they don't look like somebody I want to do business with, I'm not going to do business with them. They just don't look like they got their act together.
Okay. So now we're talking about, your business, your appearance. How about when you walk into someone's office? How does, do we need to think about what our office is saying to someone walking in?
Oh, well? Right. A lot of times they say the cluttered mind the cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind. And some people say the clutter is brilliant.
Creative.
So you have to sit down and you have to figure out what works for you.
Okay, but color-wise,
an office, there's colors that you can paint your wall that will give you energy. There are colors that will subdue things so you can make things pop. So it's all about putting colors together. And you have to be careful when you do that, even for your branding and your logo, because if you put two colors together, both colors change. And you want to make sure that it gives the right message.
How do colors change?
I know
the base color is still the base color, but I know you're talking about a mental process somewhere.
If you take two file folders, a red one and a green one, and you look at the red one first, and then you look at the green one first, your brain is interpreting first the red and then the green. But if you put the red and the green together, they're going to look different because scientifically they absorb and reflect light at different wavelengths. So they will look different to the eye. Okay? And in business, when you're branding, when you're using colors to brand, be careful of color combinations such as red and green, because it denotes Christmas in our language.
Oh, yeah.
So there are a lot of colors that are not just visually appealing to the Western world. Again, you've got to go back to your target audience. You have to go back to what is their message, what's their culture, what's their age. White wedding dresses in the Western world are red in Chinese. So you have to understand the culture and your audience.
That makes total sense. And I'm also thinking when you're actually starting to create your business and I know many people will kind of start thinking of their logos before they start thinking of their business concept and who their clients are. That might be backwards. You want to start thinking about who you want to attract, because that's going to help you determine the type of colors that you're putting in your logos.
Your business and your brand. What is your business? What's your target market? The nutritionist, they'll want something spring green. They are not going to serve you black. There's not very many appealing foods that are black. So your nutrition industry has a tendency to go to green. Color is the first thing that's noticed. So you have to consider color when you consider your brand and your logo. And again, remember, those are two different things. You are your brand. You're what your brand stands for. The integrity, the I don't know what else to call it.
Well,
I mean,
it's your personality too.
Exactly.
And your business has a personality, not just an individual. Businesses have personalities, so it really needs to
be authentic. It needs to be the integrity, and it needs to be consistent with your industry.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you brought up an interesting point there. The business has its own colors, personality, and everything. What happens when, like Cheri and I are partners? Okay, we have WCN Interactive. She has her side, I have my side. How do the colors interact between us individually, or do they?
They do when you go to put your best face forward. The colors in your logo are absolutely superb. The WCN, the purple is it's kind of like royalty. It's kind of like a little more elite. The orange,
I like the royalty better.
Again, but the orange is. I kind of call it a declassifier because it just means it's open to everybody. I mean, it's a very friendly color. Okay, and then the green brings the freshness of spring to it. So your three colors on your logo are absolutely superb for your business because it is always changing. It is there is always something new, something green, something growing.
Oh, I love that. I never thought my logo that way.
And orange is, you are out there for everybody. I mean, at least to start with, you take your business to the next level by further defining your target market. But again, and purple, that's your authority. That's your it's part of your brand awareness. Part of your brand awareness is part of who you are.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that.
Like that.
We did good, Richard. I remember when we were mixing those colors together and he was like, purple and green. I go, wait a minute. I like purple and green. So I think you came up with the orange, didn't you? Yeah.
It's funny though, because when you say purple, everybody has their own version. If you say yellow, everybody has their own version.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I tell brides, there's 3,000 shades of white. There is one that's best for you. There's 3,000 shades of blue. Which one is for you? So you really have to consider things when you look at your brand and when you look at marketing, when you look at your logo. When we talk about logos, the golden arches and the red sign on Mickey D's, yellow and red. But guess what? Yellow and red is ketchup and mustard together. Guess what?
Oh, wow.
Guess what? I don't know if that was intentional, but it's something to consider.
Yeah.
Okay?
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Well, now when you're thinking about that, when you have your colors and your logos in your business and you need that consistency, what about companies that have their employees wear those colors, like in a shirt or something? I mean, that's not always going to look good on some people if their complexion or their hues don't match with those colors.
I'm going to say it's if the company dictates that, that's fine. That's again, when you're on their clock, you're representing that company and their colors and their logo. If you're in an industry such as a hair salon, when I had one girl who's the salon said black and white, black and white, black and white because they wanted to cater to the high end, which was their perception. But a lot of these girls weren't making any money because when they dressed in black and white, they looked like
black and white.
Black and white. They did not
have
look
that confidence.
They didn't look alive. They really didn't. So when I went in and did an evaluation with the owner, let them wear just a scarf around their neck. So. And all of a sudden, their whole face perks up. They're radiant again.
Wow.
They look alive.
That's cool.
And tips increased. It was amazing how that difference was.
Well, I know myself when I start, I'm a very casual person. So I love my jeans and my tennis shoes and such. But I know when I'm out in the business world, I need to, dress a little differently. And I know myself, I would cover myself up with the black. And we sat and we talked about that. So just understanding that, adding the way the lines were on my shirts, making sure they were pointed down, and making sure I had a necklace or something with that was kind of flowing with that. Those are so important. And I think when you're creating a logo, you have to think that same way.
Nike's swoosh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's recognizable anywhere. It doesn't matter what color it is. Doesn't matter what the background is. It's a white swoosh, right? And it doesn't even have words. Okay.
But everybody knows it, right?
Everybody knows it. Coca-Cola. That script little Coca-Cola. It's red and white. Everybody knows it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when it comes to, yes, when dressed, you want to make sure that your face at least is surrounded by your best colors. You can always add and change out a wardrobe later, but at least around your face, that's got to be your best color. Okay.
I find that just very interesting. And I know, hearing how we need to make sure we're conscious of that within our business so that our business also is approachable.
Exactly.
In the color that we're using.
Exactly. When you're talking business colors, you do want to remember that there is an emotion tied to color. Okay, so it's not just what am I seeing visually; it's what emotion, because emotion is what's going to sell your sales message. Emotion is what is going to drive that action.
Totally agree with that. You can have the best presentation in the world if you can't put a smile on your face or make your eyes pop and look really sharp. It's going nowhere.
Exactly. Even the product presentation, packaging, things like that. It all has to be consistent. Has to be consistent.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the emotions and colors. All these colors have different emotions. So I'd love you to share with our audience the different, like on a color emotion guide that I know I keep on my desk. And I think you're the one that introduced me to this. And I use this when I'm putting together images for myself, for clients, when I'm putting together the memes on social media, or when I'm even coming up with an image for a workshop or something. I really look at the type of colors that is in that image. So would you want to share with our audience about the different emotions that each color
and I'll give you a couple of examples. Yellow. Yellow is sunny, it's lemony, it's warm, okay? It's optimistic. All right. So those are things that you want to be. Those are emotions that you are targeting. Emotions that you are sending to your customer. Mm-hmm. Are you happy? Are you warm? I mean, you don't do sunscreen with black rays coming out of it. I mean, sunshine
yes.
is sunscreen is sunshiny.
It just seems inviting and just
exactly.
And it's kind of a warmth to it as well, and inviting and sounds like something you really can relax with and have fun with.
Mm-hmm. And as you go from yellow, you start headed towards red, but then you get into oranges in between there. And again, I said orange is Mr. Friendly. It's for example, Home Depot, orange and white. They're the construction people, all right? That's symbolic of them. Guess what else is orange and white? The barricades on your road constructions.
Oh, they are.
Orange and white.
Yeah.
Orange and white. Orange and white. So take a look at your industry. Take a look at the message that you're trying to send. And
it's really interesting. I never thought about it that way. And I'm thinking but when I think of orange, sometimes I can think of some really bright oranges that kind of hurt the eyes. So you have to be conscious of the tone as well, right? Of that color,
right. Right.
Right. That is interesting. I never thought about that before about when I look at I'm going to be out there looking at everything now and thinking, wow, what is that saying to me?
Red. Okay. Red. Again, we talked about red a little bit with Coca-Cola. All right. Ace Hardware. That's another one is red and white. All right. So, but again, they're images that you even see those, even though they're graphic, you can even see them if they're in black and white. They're recognizable. Mm-hmm. So don't get carried away with too many colors. Because, again, 2 colors, they'll change. You get any more than 3 colors in a graphic, in a logo, then your brain is going to get confused. It's not going to know what to do with them.
That is a very interesting point there. So when you're developing or creating a logo, you really want to make sure that your logo is going to look good in black and white as well then. Depending, so you don't, like you say, you don't want to just saturate with all the different colors.
Right. You want to be consistent. Blue, all right. There's a lot of blues out there. A lot of blues. Jewelry, high-end luxury was typically royal navy, black, gold. Mm-hmm. But guess what Tiffany's did? They bucked the system. They said, "Oh, we want to be different. We want to be known." And guess what? You've got a forget-me-not Tiffany blue.
Oh,
it's still high end, isn't it? Everybody recognizes that Tiffany box, that blue.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And it's because they didn't want to be part of the ocean full of everyone. They wanted to stand apart, but they did it with a little bit of finesse.
Well, considering not that Walmart's in competition with them, but I mean, one of Walmart's logos is kind of a pale blue that they use. So, the differentiator there, I mean, other than just physically looking at what it looks like when you walk in the store. Walmart's
blue is very banker blue-ish, okay? Mm-hmm. So they want you to trust them. But again, that little yellow sunshine sprinkle that goes on the logo is yellow to orange. That's why, because they're for everybody. Trust me, I'm for you. I'm for everybody.
Well, and again, that gets in that different shade of the color, because I think at Dell Computers, I mean, blue is a very trustworthy color, gives strength and Dell computers. If anybody, if anybody asks what kind of computer I prefer, I